Today is August the 25th, and here are your headlines. ESL Cologne 2015 Roundup. We're going to prepare for the majors. The first Void Boys and Fire Dota rosters were revealed. U.S. teams were once again excluded from a major tournament and playoffs. 7 out of 8 teams have been announced going to Las Vegas. Stainsaw joins Lunatic Esports. RG3 suffers a concussion. Shoulder stinger versus the Lions. Geno Smith's on his way back. Chris Carter apologizes for a 14-month-old video. And Davis Love III won the Wyndham Championships. That and a whole lot more. Get ready, because here we go. Hello everybody, my name is Joe and welcome to the Bridge of Sports podcast, show number 6. I totally mistimed that, but that's alright. Things do happen sometimes the way things you don't want them to happen, but I do want to start off with some racing news, just one little piece. And this is really, really, really sad. IndyCar driver Justin Wilson passed away last night due to injuries that he had sustained at Pocono Raceway on Sunday the afternoon. What happened was he came around, I think turns 3 and 4. Or it just came around, I'm sorry, turn 3. That's the way Pocono set up as tri-oval. And a piece of debris came up and hit him right square in the side of the head. And when you're going over 100, and I want to say over 150 miles an hour for Indy cars, when you hit a piece of debris like that, even just after a wreck, that is going to knock you out. What happened was he ended up in a coma for hours. And let's say almost a day after he arrived at the hospital, he just passed away. So what could happen here with IndyCar? IndyCar and Formula One are just basically open cockpit race cars, where the only protection to the head for the driver is their helmet. And sometimes for these crashes, that helmet's not enough. I mean, that's why I like NASCAR. At least in NASCAR, some piece of debris could be flying at the car and not hit you in the head. It would hit the car itself, but you would not get hurt from it, at least potentially not get hurt from it. So what could IndyCar do? I think right now, and my personal feeling is that their hands are tied because of this. The only thing that they could do is somehow encase the head with some sort of like maybe like a glass dome, or something aerodynamic. But I really don't think that that's going to happen. So that's going to be really the big question here as to what is going to go on here. So I don't know. Now, let's go on to some football. We'll get back to racing here in a bit. The Broncos' John Bolin pleads not guilty to domestic violence charge. So, okay. The one thing that any NFL team does not need is bad publicity. We'll get to some more bad publicity here in a minute, because there's a lot of it going around right now. Really, I think that Bolin's going to get demoted. I think quite possibly he could be fired, but I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen right now. Because right now there's no update on any news on what's going to happen here. Typically what the NFL does is they will sit and wait until a verdict comes in. Then if they need any more information, or at least they'll wait till after the investigation's done, then if they need more information, they will try to get more information, and then the Broncos could do whatever they want to do, or the NFL could say, you're out of the league. And something, if it is proven that, or actually either way, I think because of the charge came up, he could get really some definite punishment. Because the one thing that you don't want to have right now, because you just went through Adrian Peterson, you don't want to have a domestic violence charge hanging over the league. And here, granted, this isn't a big name, but this is another charge that the league is now associated with. And the league itself may want to distance themselves from people that have this domestic violence tag to it. We will see what happens. And Uku just said hello. So hello, Uku. Ukubayo. Moving on. Chris Carter made an apology last night on Monday Night Football. What he basically said was, "14 months ago, that was on NFL.com, he said that if you're going to have a posse, if you're going to have a group of people, you need to make sure that you have a fall guy, because you do not want to ruin your brand. You don't want to mess with yourself." And that is something that he is going to pay big time. because he's had to apologize now at least twice. He's apologized basically on Twitter, and now he has apologized on Monday Night Football. Because really, you don't want a fall guy. You just want to make sure that you stay out of trouble. And really, where he made these comments was at last year's rookie symposium, where all the rookies have to come in. You're just coming into the NFL. You want to go do this and that, and really, you don't want to truly mess with the NFL right now because they're just going through a bunch of crap. So when this just arose, and I think it was through a Bleacher Report, Cris Carter had to apologize. So what the question here is, what's going to happen with Cris Carter, the former Buckeye receiver, the former, actually the Hall of Fame wide receiver from Minnesota, from the Vikings? Will he leave ESPN? ESPN really, Colin Cowherd is what I'm thinking of. Colin Cowherd made some remarks about a country that was really, I personally was taken out of context, but still, my personal feelings was he needed to go. But I think Cris Carter, seeing some of the things that he has gone through, some of the people that he has tried to change, I think that he should be reprimanded. But I do not feel that he needs to go. If he does go, then that really leaves him open to go to, say, NBC. They could use him over there for their Pro Football Talk. He could go to CBS Sports. Break up all the quarterbacks, have a wide receiver in there. Or he could go to the NFL Network. He's an NFL guy. Why not? That would be a good thing for him. But I do hope that he stays. I don't think that he really needs to leave ESPN. Really. Now we're going to talk about some injuries in the preseason. Geno Smith came back to the practice field for the Jets. That's a good thing for them, really. Even though he got punched. Some would say deservedly so. Even though two wrongs don't make a right here. But he's back on the practice field. Doctors did allow him at least that. He was in a red no-touch jersey. So that's really I still think that's a good thing. We'll see what the Jets do this year. I don't tend to think that they're going to be good again. But we'll see. 8-8 team. I would tend to think somewhere around, somewhere around 8-8, maybe a 7-9, 9-7, something like that. To me, they're just not that good. Just not that good. Brandon Gibson was placed on injured reserve. That is a fairly decent wide receiver that the Patriots have. Okay. I mean, he catches a few balls for him. He did all right. But since he went down due to a knee injury against the Saints last Saturday, what the Patriots did is they signed Reggie Wayne to a 1-year contract. So Reggie Wayne is getting up there in years. Okay. Getting to be an old man, an old man. But I think this is something to really go out with. If he's looking to go out, this may be going to New England, which, by the way, Reggie Wayne was an Indianapolis Colt. You see the irony in that? The Colts don't like the Patriots. There were big rivalries for years and continue to be. But to see Reggie Wayne, this may be the time of that time in his career to where he can go out on a high note. And really, I think with the Patriots, that might be the place to do it. Now, RG3 suffered a concussion and a shoulder stinger versus the Lions. Now, the Lions were roughing him up pretty bad in that game. They were blitzing and blitzing and blitzing, and that is something that you do not want to see, especially when there's a big drop-off in talent between your number one quarterback and your second and third string quarterbacks. Now, the thing is with the NFL, he has to go through a concussion protocol in order to get back even on the practice field. So really, to be on with the practice field, that's going to be a little bit of time, depending on how well he heals. So I think once he gets back up on the practice field, he'll be up with that no-touch red jersey in the preseason. We'll see. Now, I did hear a rumor that he might be back for this weekend's games. We'll see. This is getting close to dress rehearsal. The last preseason game before the season starts is coming up real quick. So we'll see what happens here. Will he play? Will he not play? That's really going to be up to the doctors. Concussions are what concussions are. Now, Terrell Suggs did a pretty good hit. on Sam Bradford. Basically, what this was, Sam Bradford was doing a read option play. Okay, so on a read option, it is the quarterback's option to hand the ball off, run the ball himself, if that's the type of quarterback, or pass the ball. I think when he saw that Suggs was coming, he handed the ball off. Typically, on a read option play, you're looking at a certain spot on the defense. Okay, on the defensive front, you're going to have somewhere between typically 6 to 7 people up in the box, or up on towards the front line. And usually, the quarterback is looking off to his left. Okay, and reading that defensive end. Does it look like the defensive end is going to come up, or is he going to drop back? If the defensive end drops back, you really have the call. Typically, it's a run play. If the defensive end comes up, typically it's a pass play. But if it's a blitz, and I think that's what he was looking at, a blitz off to that side, it's going to be a run play. There's a lot of different variations to go on here. So, on how a zone read goes. So, basically, it was a zone read option. So that means Suggs had a free shot coming in and really hit the quarterback. Try to dislodge the quarterback, so to speak. But yeah, I think I don't think that Suggs really is to blame here. If that is a read option, what is Suggs going to do? He has no idea what that play is going to be, so he has to make his best read and whether or not to attack the quarterback or attack the running back as a defensive end. Defensive end, by the way, is on the defensive side of the ball, to be on the left side. Well, actually, they're both on the left side and the right side, and usually they're at the very end of the line. Well, they are at the end of the line. So, right defensive end on the right side, left defensive end on the left side. And you'll have either one or two people that could either be defensive tackles or a nose tackle that would come in there. Now, there's another injury that occurred, and this is something that Green Bay Packer fans really, really dread. Jordy Nelson. He tore his ACL. That is now confirmed as of last night. All the other tendons in his ankle are fine. They are connected, blah, blah, blah. But Jordy Nelson caught the ball and he went down. So what's going to happen? I really think that that Green Bay is going to be okay. It's going to be tougher to get that offense going, even though you still have a very good wide receiver core, um, and really we will see the depth of that wide receiver core, say even next week or over the next few weeks, because if this team's going to be good, you have to be deep in every single position. And I tell you what, if they are good enough, I think they'll be fine. Aaron Rodgers is going to have a lot of different weapons still, and he will be all right. I believe. I believe, I believe, I believe. Now, there were some pretty good games. I'm not going to give really any scores here, but I'm just going to give the actions of those games that I've seen or that I know of. Over the course of the football season. I'm not Sports Center. I'm not going to pretend that I am Sports Center. I'm a little bit different than that. Now, the Houston Texans, I don't think that I really don't think is going to be very good there this year. Brian Hoyer is going to be their starting quarterback. I don't think that they're going to be really good. I got to pause this for a minute. I got to go. I'll be right back here in a few minutes. Love it when somebody knocks on the door. Alright, back to play. Yeah, I really don't think that the Texans are going to be really good this year. They have an average quarterback. But hey, we'll see. One other thing on the football side before we go on to other sports is Steve Sarkisian. What you don't do. This is a no-no. You do not get up in front of your boosters your administration, your players, and act like a drunken goofball. Steve Sarkisian, Saturday night, did just that. He lowered some F-bombs, he lowered some other swear words, and that is something that you just don't do. You're the head coach of USC. You don't do that. What are you thinking? And to make things worse, he got on the air today and said, okay, he admitted that he was drunk. He admitted that he took some medication. When he was asked, how much did he drink and how much medication did he take, he said only had a little bit, like one drink of alcohol, one glass, and it's none of your business what meds I take. That's not cool. No, that is not cool. First off, you do not ever mix alcohol with drugs. Ever. Secondly, if you're going to a public function, you don't do either. And third, actually I got a fourth. Third, a drink, one glass of alcohol? Bull. That was more than a glass of alcohol. That was more than just one beer. That was more than just one shot. That it might as well have been a pint. It might as well have been a pint. It might as well have been a six-pack. That is just horrible. And drugs? That's not good. And to make things worse, like I said, that was in front of his students, his players, and that was up in front of the boosters, and that was up in front of his boss. Uh-oh. You don't make the boss look bad. No, no, no. That is not good. And I tell you what, I think that automatically puts him on the hot seat. You can apologize all you want to. You just made your AD look bad. AD stands for Athletic Director. But you just made your boss look bad. That is not gonna stand at all. Let's get on to some brighter news. I'm sorry, that's just bad. That was just bad. Okay. Andy Pettitte now has a statue in Yankees Monument Park. Good job to him. I mean, he was just one of the best pitchers that they've had. That really baseball's had for quite a while. His number was retired there as well. Number 46 will no longer be played in pinstripes. Check out this roster. Wore number 1, Billy Martin. Number 3, Babe Ruth. Number 4, Lou Gehrig. Number 5, Joe DiMaggio. Number 6, Joe Torre. Number 7, Mickey Mantle. I say Mantle. Number 8, I think Billy Dickey wore it first, but Yogi Berra took it over. Big time. The person that wore number 9, Roger Maris. Phil Ruzio wore number 10. Thurman Munson wore number 15. Whitey Ford wore number 16. Jorge Posada wore number 20. Don Mattingly, number 23. Elston Howard, number 32. Okay, this one I'm probably not going to get. Casey Stengel, number 37. That's the number he wore. Jackie Robinson and Mariano Rivera, number 42. Reggie Jackson was number 44. Andy Pettit wore number 46. And Ron Gurdy wore number 49. Number 2, Derek Jeter. And I would totally believe that Derek Jeter, his jersey will be retired as well. So if you look at this, that'll be 1 through 10. You will not see any number lower than 10. And there's only a few remaining numbers left. But I tell you what, him revealing his own plaque, his own statue, his own monument, is a pretty awesome thing. Because now, anybody that goes up in front of that monument has either known or actually seen him play, or they will be able to read up on him. And that in itself is pretty cool. That in itself is pretty cool. Now, on maybe the bad side of it, CC Sabathia has been sent to the disabled list. This is due to a knee injury that he had suffered during his last start. So, will this season be over? We are getting to the end of the baseball season, and really I tend to think that he will be done for the year. There's only a few weeks to go. And if you put him on the 30-day DL, he's done. Will the Yankees make the playoffs? Possibly. I think they're in it. I think they're in the race, but I'm not exactly sure. I don't tend to get into the pennant races until it is time to do so, and it's almost time to do so, but not quite yet. That'll be fine. By the way, as we head over to NASCAR, Logano won again. Oh, man. We are seeing drivers that are going in streaks right now. Logano, Team Penske is just putting stuff together just in time for the chase to the championship. They're having one heck of a time, you know, in a good way, because once a team comes together, it's very hard to separate them. And I tell you what, Penske is really coming together. They are having a real fun time right now, and we'll see what happens. They did it at Bristol. Oh boy. We'll see what happens there next week. As I believe they go to Darlington. By the way, talking about some of the people that did good this week. Jimmy Johnson turned it around there this week. He came up with a 4th place finish. That's something that's needed, really, because Hendrick Motorsports hasn't been doing well this month, to be honest. And, yeah. Hendrick Motorsports has not been doing really good. Jimmy's been wrecked out. Junior hasn't been doing too well. He's gotten a couple of top 5s, but he's not been doing too good. You haven't heard much of Jeff Gordon, like, at all. So, they need to turn it around. Okay, fine, you have some cars that's in the chase. I get that. But you still need to turn it around. Because if you don't, Penske's going to just take it. They're hot right now. Another thing I want to touch on. Clint Bowyer did pretty well. He got a fifth place finish over at Bristol, Tennessee. But here is the thing that's really hanging over their heads. And a little bit of the bad news for NASCAR, even though this was coming. Michael Waltrip Racing has called it quits. They could not find the financial support. And if you cannot be supported, then you have to shut down your operations. I think what the surprise here is the fact that they did not wait till the end of the season. But it's more the fact that they did it now was really the bad thing. So, if you don't have the money, you can't do the finances. But here's kind of the good part. If Clint Bowyer keeps doing well, keeps getting top 5 finishes, even into the chase. He himself will be fine. He himself will be able to get onto another team and do some significant damage within a NASCAR Sprint Cup. We'll see what happens. I'm not gonna be too high on Bowyer there just yet. We gotta see what happens with this team, considering that Michael Waltrip Racing is now done. Back to Bristol. Ryan Newman came home in 10th. Basically, what Ryan Newman's doing is he is being consistent. So long as he can make the chase, and I think he's going to be about the top 3 of the non-chasers. Right now, I think there's only about 3 or 4 spots open. But he's got to be in the chase. And I really hope that if he does get in, that he does real well in it. He got up to about almost the last cut there last year, so he did pretty good, but he should be able to improve on that. Hey, we'll see what happens. Now, we did get into Hendrick Motorsports. For Darlington, there is a retro paint scheme that's going for Earnhardt Jr. The 88 is going to drive the Valvoline car. Valvoline sponsorship, retroed paint scheme, I think back to the 1980s. Yep, back to the early 1980s. The Valvoline car back in the 1980s was driven by Cale Yarborough, Ron Butchard, and Neil Bonnet and Buddy Baker. That's some names right there for NASCAR. Oh boy. Really, to see that paint scheme, because Jeff Gordon did it for Bristol, he went back to the old DuPont car. Oh man, that was something to see. See that old DuPont paint scheme go around. Too bad Gordon didn't do very well, but hey, it happens. But to see that Valvoline, to see that old style paint scheme type of car go around in circles again. And I think that'll be next race. No, not next race. That'll be... Darlington's not the next one. Darlington is going to be on Sunday, September 6th. So I have to look and see real quick. Let's go check out NASCAR.com. Hey, why not? Let's see, schedule and results. They're taking a week off. Darlington is the next one. Very good. That's cool. I'll take that. Okay. Not a problem. Anyway, yeah, that's gonna be something to see. When that race comes up there at Darlington International Speedway. Let's get into golf for a little bit because Davis Love III won the Wyndham Championship on Sunday. This was a championship that Tiger had to win. And he looked strong going into the third day. And in the moving day. Moving day, he was right there on the cusp, just ready to pounce. Looked like the Tiger of old. I'm talking about Tiger Woods. But he missed. And because he missed, he did not get into the top 125, for which he needed to be in the FedEx Cup. That is the championship series that the golfers go through at the end of the year. Now, that, to me, I don't think he really deserved a spot there anyway. He has not done well this year. He has suffered and has made us suffer every single week. Well, we'll see what happens. But anyway, congratulations to Davis Love. Titleist will surely be happy. Because that's the clubs that he uses. He uses Titleist. And I tell you what, he did very, very good just to win that one. And Davis Love, he is able, if he so wants to play on the Champions Tour there if he wanted to. He's 51, so why not? But I think he's in for the FedEx Cup. So good luck. We'll see who wins that one. Now, there is a bit of a report that the Cavaliers want to cut LeBron and Kyrie's minutes. These are the two people that yet, yes, you want them rested. You have to be careful. Because these two people, LeBron James and Kyrie Irving, can win you a championship. And this is something that Cleveland so desperately needs. So desperately needs. Is a championship that they can go in and celebrate. That would be huge. But since LeBron and Kyrie, I think they want to go play for the USA coming up next year in the 2016 Summer Olympics. Why not? Why not? Now we go to the other side of the bridge. Okay. Switching gears to esports. Counter Logic Gaming. Well, Team Solo Mid just won 3-0 against Counter Logic Gaming in the LCS finals. Three nothing, which means Team Solo Mid is heading to Madison Square Gardens. So this is just for the North America part. Basically, if you're gonna sweep somebody, go 3-0, that's pretty huge. Okay. And what Team Solo Mid did was just sheer domination. You're going to go 3-0? Boom. You're going to Madison Square Garden. You want to talk about domination? Here are 7 of the 8 teams that are going to Las Vegas. And by the way, I just, yeah. Okay, 7 of the 8 teams going to the Heroes of the Storm playoffs. And by the way, if you saw some of these matches, they were some pretty epic stuff. Really. And I think the favorite's going to be is Tempo Storm. Tempo Storm went through all 3 months of the Open and won every single game. They didn't win all the maps. They only lost 1. They only lost 1 map. Oh, man. And they tore through everybody. The closest one that came to them was Cloud9. And even Tempo Storm then Tempo Storm them really took them to town. Because every single time that Cloud9 faced Tempo Storm in the semifinals of that month, Tempo Storm just wiped them out. That was pretty huge. So Tempo Storm, Cloud9's going. Cognitive Gaming, they're pretty good. I did watch a few of their matches. They did all right. Complexity, they're also a pretty good team. But the one that really surprised me the most and really surprised everybody the most is Murloc Geniuses. They proved that they can knock heads with the big boys in this tournament. And I really think that they can do that. Those are the 5 America teams. Number 6 is Relics coming out of Southeast Asia. Immunity White from Australia and New Zealand. And Latin America will be determined this weekend. So, that's going to be something to see. And once again, when we find that other team, I will hopefully talk about that there next week. Hopefully, I'll find some video on there to watch, see what they do. But I do tend to think that this is going to be one heck of a time going live in Las Vegas. That's going to be something. Now, sticking with Blizzard Games, once again, the Fireside Gathering Championship is coming. And basically, it's going to be the Fireside Championships. Then we'll go for We're talking about Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft World Championship. We're going to go Fireside. We're going to go to the regional qualifiers, then the last chance qualifier, then the regional championships, and then after that, it's going to be BlizzCon. So we'll see what happens. This is going to be a wide open tournament, I think, because I think you're going to see a whole new set of people, along with a bunch of new people or a bunch of old people coming in. So I really think that this is going to be a good tournament to see. Just to see who wins and who loses. By the way, $250,000 is going to be delved out amongst the winners. 9th through 16th for the Hearthstone World Championship is going to get $5,000 straight up cash. 5th through 8th, 7,500. Third and fourth places will be 15,000. And how would you like to sit at the last table? Loser at the last table, second place, gets $50,000. And first place, $100,000. That is going to be awesome. Firebat won it last year. This is going to be one heck of a tournament. Oh boy. Here are the winners. And they did provide a list of the winners there so far this year. First off, you have Captain Crunch out of Kansas City, Missouri. I like that name, Captain Crunch. Puffin from Irvine, California. Okay, if you're going to have a name, at least make it pronounceable. Unless you're combining like your first and last name together, but Tim Matim, whatever, out of Buffalo, New York. I think those are 3 of the names that you're going to see. And we'll see what happens. And by the way, I got the hub of it all there in the chat room. So there are pro Hearthstone players? Yes, there are. Yes, there are. There are a lot of pro Hearthstone players. In fact, if you click on Twitch, on the Hearthstone, on the Hearthstone board or Hearthstone game, you'll be able to see a lot of either pro or extremely knowledgeable players that will showcase their cards. And by the way, now's a good time to go do that because the Argent tournament's up. And you better believe players are showcasing the new cards. There are a lot of cards out there. Oh man, and I got a lot of those I think last week, but actually it was yesterday. I was going through cards and I ended up buying more cards and more cards and more cards and more cards and making some cards, and I still don't have them all, but I got at least about 90%. But I'll talk more about that on the Your Wow Money podcast, which will be aired on Saturday at this same time. Anyway, now we're going to go to some Counter Logic, not Counter Logic, but Counter-Strike Global Offensive game. And the U.S. teams got into one of the major tournaments and were just shut out. Cloud9 and Counter Logic Gaming were the closest ones to get in, but Europe really took over. Like Natus out of Group E just took the spot. And Natus is really good, by the way, in whatever games they do. I've kind of watched some of their stuff, and whatever games they play, they seem to do really well. Team Kingwin. They just ousted Cloud9. That was pretty bad. But yeah, that's gonna be something. But hey, good luck to Cloud9. They are still in some tournaments. But anyway, let's see. We got a little bit of Rocket League here as well, and I did see a little bit of Rocket League. And how that plays. Cars bouncing around a ball. The Rocket League tournament is going on. And I will, if I can find where it's coming on at, I will post a link up in the show notes. But yeah, Rocket League is... looks like a pretty cool game. I think just cars bouncing around a ball. I don't know how to get it though. I wish I knew how, but I really don't know how. But yeah, I would really suggest go check out Rocket League on Twitch, and you'll see really what goes on. Anyway. Now, Navi withdraws from Gaming Paradise 2015 Dota 2. The reason why they're doing this is because they have a lot of roster changes going on right now. So if you're doing like a lot of different changes within your roster, you're going to have to withdraw from some games until everything gets things get really settled down, basically. And while we're at it, for team changes, there has been some other ones. Such as Complexity. They're going to return to Counter-Strike, and because of that, they've added some players like Valens, Semphis, Roca, Automatic, and a couple others. I'm getting towards the end of the show, but I'm also getting close on time here, guys, so I am kind of speeding things up here a little bit. And Lunatic, they've included Stainslaw, basically Tempo Storm kind of excluded him from the team, so but they're doing quite well with the new team member. um, Team Secret added Eternal Envy, Misery Puppet, and Pylady. Yeah, my tongue's not doing it right, and I'm not reading stuff right, so. So, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, that's most of the changes. Most of these changes have to be in, I think, by early September, because I think that's what Electronic Sports League, they're the ones that are really backing a lot of these tournaments. So I think that's kind of what is what's going on. Newbie. Say Newbies Fall is the defending champions at T15. So now in Dota 2, they're going into the International 5. And after taking Dota 2 last year, they're looking to repeat this year. The problem with repeating, and this goes on for all sports, something that goes on for Ohio State this year, it is very tough to repeat. The bullseye is now on your back, and there's no way to get it off because everybody's going to be gunning for you. And speaking of Dota 2, some of the major contests are coming up. There's going to be an open qualifier on October 6th to October 9th. And I would highly suggest everybody go check out Dota 2 or go search for Dota 2. Matter of fact, I do have the registration site at dota2.com/majors registration. I don't have League in the notes this time around, but I will probably have it next time. Definitely. Yeah, I'll have League of Legends there this time. The main reason why I'm not I would say fully into like doing stuff right now, because right now there's a lot of Dota 2 news going on right now, and Blizzard is just going bonkers with because of BlizzCon coming up in November and doing all the World Championships. So they're putting out a ton of news right now, and with football season, I'm kind of stuck. But League of Legends. I will touch on League of Legends here. It does really look to be a really good game. I don't play it, but I do think that a lot of the news, if they do put up more stuff up for League of Legends, I think a lot of the news really should go out to what Riot Games is doing. And I know they got some real talented developers over there. So as soon as I see some tournaments come up, I will do my best to promote them. But right now, because there has been a lot of news over the past few weeks, is what ESL has been doing about drug testing. I mean, everybody's susceptible right now. And that's something that I think a lot of these games, a lot of these different tournaments really have to pay attention to. And that goes really for League of Legends, that goes for Blizzard, that goes for ESL. It goes for everybody. It goes for Halo. It goes for everybody. So, and a lot of tournaments going on at the same time, which means this is really, really a busy time right now. So I'm trying to get what I can. But if you guys want to send me stuff, as I am really, really open for stuff, let me know. And we're getting up towards the end of the show, so just let me know at the contacts part at the end of the show, and we will definitely be talking there. Certainly. Anyway, moving on. Fnatic beat Envious to be ESL One's Cologne champions. And I know that there's some teams that are heading out to Europe. I think Temple Storm's going out there. There's a lot of good tournaments out there, like I said. And to see this is just a good ramp up. And I'm looking through, because I knew what game it was, but right now I lost it. I just lost it. I want to think that was maybe Dota, but I'm not sure. But because ESL does a lot of things. And yeah, ESL does a lot of things, and really, that is a good place to go find stuff. And I think actually that might have been some League of Legends, but like I said, I'm not exactly sure. Oh, Cobblestone, duh, that was Halo. I am so dumb. That was Halo. But yeah, that's pretty good. Especially with some of the maps that Halo has. That, yeah, Halo, yeah, that was all in Halo. But we're going to finish this out with a little bit of World of Tanks. Because what they did, they have a new global map that's out, and really I would suggest you guys go check it out. It's really promoting some more global PvP, and for some battlegrounds like that stuff, I think that's going to be some good stuff there for the tournaments. And I might put that up there in the show notes too, because I do have the YouTube where everybody can go check out. Anyway, you can find the show on Tuesdays on alphageekradio.com, Channel 3 at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or you can find it on bumblebeenet.com at the same time, basically. That's where you find the Twitch chat. The show is also on iTunes and on Stitcher Radio as Bumblebee Net. That's where you find the feed. And trust me, everything's better on the download. That's what I'm saying. You can also find the show on Bumblebee Net. Twitter, the show is Bumblebee Net. That is for... yeah, my mind's all scrambled up now. The Bumblebee Net is one place where you can find me. The other thing is at Joe Brums. And for the show is the Bridge of Sports. That's on Twitter. Bridge of Sports is also on Facebook at Bridge of Sports. Or you could email me, Joe at BumblebeeNet. I do apologize. Things have been really insane today. But it has just been one of those days. But anyway, we will see you guys either Saturday for the Your Wow Money podcast or next week for the Bridge of Sports podcast. I have been Joe, and you have just crossed the bridge. Bye, guys. This show is a part of the Bumblebee Network. You can find out more information about this show or the network at bumblebeenet.com. That is BUMBLEB net.com.
This podcast recorded before a live internet audience. To learn how to listen and watch live, visit tunein.alphageekradio.com.